Hi everyone, I'm Lizzie and I'm back for another video. Maybe a different video than the one previous, but I'm kind of experimenting with different videos. It's only my fourth video, so I love showing you around and taking you with me on things that I do, but what I also love very much is sharing my ideas, things that I'm thinking about, like some kind of diary or something, sharing with other people what's happening in my life, what I'm thinking about. So in this video I want to talk to you about 3 big ways that I changed moving to a homestead. So I used to live in an apartment for a couple of years. I used to live there by myself. It was on the first floor. So it's a very different situation than we are living in now. So the first thing that is really coming into my mind when I think like, how did this lifestyle change me in the year and a half that we are living here? And the first thing that comes to my mind is that I'm way more into my body. And for me, that's really a big thing, because I was someone that was very much in my head. Like, I am a person that likes to think about ideas, thinks about things that are happening, think about my emotions or how things click into each other. If you don't know from the previous videos, I used to be a psychotherapist. So I love to think about processes in our body and in our mind, how our emotions work. And I remember when I was a teenager, I could lay for hours on my bed with headphones in, listening to music, fantasizing about things that happen, things that want to happen, how I was functioning inside. And I did not really know what to do with my body. That sounds weird, but when I wanted to move, I sort of freeze inside, or I froze inside. Like, I was never into sports or movement. I used to bump into things a lot. I can still have that, but it's like I was this mind with a body attached to it, and I didn't know what to do with it. So I used to hear a lot when I did these courses. I did all kinds of courses, of course, because I was so interested. I'm still interested in that, but in a different way. I took courses for all kinds of stuff to get to know myself. A lot of times it came back when people said like, you're not in your body, you're not grounded. And I was like, how could that be? What does that even mean? I didn't understand. Like, I could hear the theory, but I didn't get it, that I was not grounded, or I didn't understand what that meant. And now I understand more what it means. I think you can always evolve in that, but like, I have my 2 feet on the ground. Like, I remember when I moved from my apartment to Dieter's house in the city, that when he asked me in the first week that we lived together, but that was only 4 months or something that we used to live in that house, he said, how do you feel? Do you feel all right here? And I said, I love feeling like living onto the ground again, like not living in a first floor of a building. That really was a difference. I felt more grounded just by doing that. And now my tasks command me to be with my feet on the floor, and I used to sit so much just for my job, and then when I got home I was so mentally tired. I used to rest in the couch and watch TV, and I was not with my feet on the floor again. So now when I'm going into the garden, I have no shoes on. Like, of course, when it's like spring and it's rather cold, maybe I don't do that. It's the first summer or the second summer here, and since the summer started, I took off my shoes to go into the garden, like my kitchen garden. I want to feel the grass under my feet. I love feeling the earth. And even if the earth is wet or when I water my plants, my feet get all muddy, but I really like that feeling. And I used to be someone that really liked to dress up. I always wore heels, especially when I was a teenager or in my early 20s, because I thought that I didn't look good when I didn't wear heels. And now it's unthinkable. I have a couple of heels still in my closet, but only for parties, and even then I'm like, they have to be really comfortable because I don't want to sacrifice my comfort in my body anymore to look good. And that's also a thing that changed, like how I look at my body changed. But I think this also has to do with my Joe Dispenza work that I'm doing since March 2022. March 2022. But I feel like, especially the last couple of weeks, but even before, I started choosing things that were comfortable, clothes that were comfortable, shoes that were comfortable, or no shoes at all. I used to wear, there was a period in my life, in my 20s, where I used to love like the clothes of the 50s and the 60s. I love that, and I still love it, but it felt so tight. You have this pencil skirts on and the heels with the pantyhose and the tight shirts, and I cannot imagine wearing that. Like I could not. I have no use for them at all now, but I have had to change my wardrobe actually completely. I have some pieces that I really love in my closet for going out, but for the rest everything changed. I don't like to wear pants, especially not jeans, but I have a couple of pair of jeans that are not too tight. I never liked the skinny jeans era. I hated that because there are not many people who look flattering in them, and actually I'm one of them, I think. I like more like a mom jeans kind of thing, but I still don't prefer them because they always, when you bend over, like the waistband, like the pinch your waist or your belly, and I'm like, oh, I don't like it. So I wear always like how do you say that? We call it salopettes, but that's a French word. They have an American word. How is it called? I don't know. I will look it up and put it under here. So yeah, I have to wear boots. I have to wear like these tennis shoes that they say. And I don't have to, but it's like reasonable to do that when you go out to the cows and feed them, or when you run around in the kitchen. You want to be as comfortable as possible because you have a lot of things to do and you don't want to tire your body. That's the thing. I don't want to give my body a hard time anymore. And for the longer I wear them, the longer I think like I look pretty good in them and I like it, and I cannot imagine that I hurt my body so much by trying all these tight clothes, wearing heels. Like I still have this, how do you call it, halus Vegas or something, that's like my feet deformed a little bit because all the, and I loved like the pointy heels, not the round heels but pointy heels, so my foot did kind of like that, you know, and I'm like, huh, that's like the choices I made. Also, what I experience is I do so much with my hands now. I sow the seed for the vegetables. I touch the earth. I'm cutting vegetables, fruits, I'm feeding animals, I'm cleaning much more because we have a much bigger house than my apartment was, of course. Like, I do so much with my hands, I move my body so much, and there is less time to think because you're doing. You can still think, but it's different. You cannot sit and think and fantasize about things. And it gives me much more peace, even though I really love some time cut out for putting on music and like really feel into who I am or how things are going right now. It's some reflective time. What I also feel is that I'm much more in contact with the elements and the seasons. You feel the wind in your hair, you feel the sun in your face, on your skin. You touch much more water because you are dirty and you clean things, or we have a pond here that we're trying to convert into more of a clean swimming pond. So I'm in the water much more. And also I change with the seasons because you observe the things around you and you're much more in contact with temperatures as well because you're not that much inside. So in summer you have a lot of energy and there's so much things to do because all the vegetables and the fruits and the animals are all at the same time. So it's a lot of things to do, but you also have the energy because there's so much light. And then I do this, but it's not, some things come intuitively, but a lot of things are also backed up by things that I read. For example, that it's so interesting to wake up and go to bed at the same time as the sun rises and sets. That is a challenge, especially in winter, I think, because then you cannot go to sleep at like 4:30 in the afternoon. But you know what I mean, like in summer, and now I feel like it's almost going a little bit by itself because the sun is up now 6:30 over here or 6:20 and it's dark 9:30 for the moment or 9:15. And when it gets dark, you want to go to bed. Like, it makes sense because yesterday Dieter and me, we were sitting outside on our sofa outside and we were looking at the moon and I was reading and it was around 10 and suddenly I felt so tired and I was like, it makes sense to go to bed now. And it felt so intuitively. It was not like, oh, I need to go to bed. Now I have a thing with sleep because I've had insomnia since 2016, so it's a very long time, and I get always pretty anxious about having enough sleep because everyone who had insomnia and a burnout on top of that knows that sleep is so important, and it's something you cannot, when you get anxious about it or you want to force it, it's already gone. And I want to stay as relaxed as possible, and if I go to bed pretty early, and 10 is not that early, then I have the time to think by myself like, okay, this is going to be fine, I'm going to sleep all right. Also, when you are doing so much things, you don't spend as much time on your computer or your cell phone. Well, I'm not really someone who will spend a lot of time on the computer if there's not like a functional reason for it. But I used to, when I had my practice, make a lot of, not a lot, but I made some YouTube videos, I made a course, I made Instagram posts, so there's so much time that goes into that, and when I'm on a computer for I think 2 or 3 hours, I get like blurry eyes and a headache, and I'm like, okay, I can't do this anymore. So I'm not good at it to start with, but now I'm not spending much time on my computer anyway. And my cell phone, I think I look at Instagram maybe twice a day, in the morning and maybe in the evening another time. But that's more in phases. Now it's really like, I'm really okay with not thinking about it or looking for, when I'm looking for information or when I have questions about my life, I look at it much more because I try to look at posts that will inform me or inspire me. By the way, I stopped my Netflix subscription I think 2 months ago. I did it on a whim because I read it on someone's profile, or someone made a post about the Joe Dispenza meditations, and she said that she stopped watching TV, but I'm not watching TV anymore since 2023, the beginning of. So that's not a problem, and never interested me. Like in the last couple of years, when I was in my apartment, I never watched TV. I only watched Netflix. And I watched it a lot, because that was my way of winding down from my practice. Because I was so, my mind was wind up and my body was drained. So then I needed to think of nothing, and for a couple of hours I watched Netflix, and then I felt better. It was a coping mechanism. But okay, I can accept that. I chose that subconsciously to do that. And now I don't need it anymore. At all, actually. In the last couple of years, I watched it less than I used to. But then I thought, like, I had a craving to be more creative. But I thought, like, I don't create time to be creative because I fill it up with all these things outside me. There was still some need for distraction or something. And then I just decided, like, okay, if there is a higher goal that tells me, I mean, if I feel like it would help me to not look at that anymore, watch that so much, then I will. And just said, whoop, bam, done. From the one night to the other. And I realized that people need stories though. We need stories. So I already bought some big novels, like the series of Outlander. I love Outlander so much. I watched the series I think 4 times already. And I said, okay, now I'll read the books. And I love reading books. I remember when I was a kid, I used to read a lot. And it really helps with the decency of your vocabulary. You learn, you pick up so many words and so many meanings of words, and I really like that. Maybe you think like, why are you telling me this? But I read it somewhere, I heard it somewhere, and I love to inspire you. And if you don't like it, don't think about it, just move on. But I don't wear so much underwear and bra anymore. Like, I'm wearing a bra right now because I'm having a dress that is quite deep cut, and okay, then I love getting a little bit more support, that it's not all over the place. But I used to hear that on somebody's Instagram profile, and that it's better for women not to wear bras, and especially not underwire bras. And I used to wear them all the time because I have a big cup, and they say, oh, women with big cups, they need more support, blah blah. Luckily, I don't fall for the trap that they tell you that you need expensive bras. I tried that once, like giving 100 euros for a bra. That's crazy, because they don't support better than another bra from H&M, for example. But anyway, I heard like even I remember somebody tell me 15 years ago that she was already like in her 50s, and she said, I think my breasts are still firm because I don't wear wired bras. And I was like, that's so contradictive. How could that be true? And I disregarded it. I thought like, I don't know, I haven't seen your breasts and I don't know if they're still firm. So, and maybe it's just in genetics or you're lucky or whatever. Bullshit reasons anyway. But then I started hearing this like in the last couple of years, like don't wear blah 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 and don't wear bras that are polyester. I cleaned up my entire closet with polyester. All the polyester stuff are gone unless I'm really attached to it or it's a really pretty going out dress that I won't wear for a long period of time anyway. And I removed all of my underwire bras and I bought cotton tops. And I have 3 cotton bras that are more like with a deep cut when I wear like clothes like this, for example. I think, yeah, I'm wearing it right now. That you don't see like the little piece of cotton in the V-cut of your clothes, because that's a little bit, I don't like that. So I only wear cotton bras and only cotton underwear. I remember my mom say like 10 years ago, like, you always wear these polyester, like the underwear with the lace, but in polyester. And I read somewhere, or I saw somewhere in a documentary that that can cause yeast infections. Because I used to have a lot of yeast infections at that time. I was like, I didn't want to hear, because I was like, no, I don't want to wear cotton underwear. That's not pretty. Again, same thing with the shoes. Like, thinking I need to have it a certain way because otherwise I didn't feel good enough or beautiful enough. So I kept wearing them, and then I kept seeing posts from different sources like, don't wear polyester underwear, wear only cotton. And then I was like, I think it was last year or maybe 2 years ago that I said, yeah, okay, this is for the health of my body. Come on, it's okay. Like, I can let these things go now, and that feels really good. I want to come to a point where I don't want to wear mascara anymore even. I don't wear any makeup anymore because I'm sweating way too much and there's too much water that I have to use, but I never wore foundation anyway because it makes, somehow it feels like my face doesn't want it, because it always like goes away anyway. Like, I wear it and then after a couple of hours I look in the mirror and I say like, where is it? It's gone. So I only wear mascara, but I want to love my face so much that I don't even need that. I love that. That would be great. It's such a little thing, but it would give me so much freedom and the feeling like you're good enough, you're beautiful, and you don't need all these things anymore. I don't wear bras or underwear most of the time in summer. I think in winter when I have a pants on, it might be better to wear underwear. But mostly I wear dresses. I love dresses the most. And I'm intending to wear like this easy flowy dresses in winter and see if I'm warm enough. I don't know. And then I don't have to wear underwear anyway, or maybe I do, I don't know, it's still an experiment. We're only 1.5 years later. I'm experimenting with everything, so what do I know? It's just trying and feeling and turning it into a position that feels good. That's my main goal, not like this is the truth and this will stay forever. I don't know, I'm just experimenting and feeling if it feels good, because that's my aim now. Like, I want to feel good. I don't want to feel all these twisted emotions or achy feelings in my body because I have this idea of what is good or not. What is also next to the thing that it feels very comfortable, it feels very freeing, literally and figuratively. Like, it feels free to not have these pinches in my sides from the wires and from the bands that have to go on the back. And what about the underwear is, it's more of a feeling of liberation and getting in contact with these parts. Like, I am aware that there are periods in my cycle that I have more juices and less juices. Maybe you think that's weird that I'm talking about this, but anyway, these juices are there anyway. Even if we talk about it or don't talk about it, they are there. And I'm trying to track my cycle, not through an app necessarily, although I have an app to look at them, but to really look at my body. And when I don't wear underwear, I can feel like, oh, I'm in a period where there are more juices, so that means I'm in my fertile window and I'm here in my cycle, and then that means that. I'm not really into that much, but I know a couple of things already, and that's one of them. And also, maybe that's even weirder to hear, but when I'm working in my garden and I'm like squatting, I can have the smell of my lady parts, how you say that, and it really makes you connect with your body. I feel a little bit embarrassed to say it, but I have to get over this shame and embarrassment anyway, and the best way, I think, is to share it. Even though it makes me feel uncomfortable, maybe it even makes you uncomfortable to hear, but here we are. Saying it anyway, because I know when you say things out loud, and even though you feel shame about it, the shame becomes less when you talk about, when you speak it out loud. So I'm doing this for myself, and hopefully I'm giving you something as well to think about. So I'm smelling it more and I'm feeling it more, and I feel that the shame that is installed in all women about their parts is going down, because you always feel like you have to wear underwear because then you're a decent girl or whatever. It makes me feel that way. Like when I'm running around and I don't wear them and I'm opening the door, some part of me is like, oh my god, who does this? And another part is like, yeah, freedom. These things can coexist together, and it's okay. That's the thing. It makes me feel so okay about myself, and I really love that. That's what I want more of. And also the love for my body, not only these parts, but my body in total is increasing. Sometimes I have even gained a little bit of weight like the last couple of months. I don't know why. I don't wonder anymore. I have been having weight problems. I don't know if they're still a problem. I don't know. I think so. I think I'm still thinking they're a problem, but since I got like into puberty, I always had like excess weight, like maybe 10 kilos or 15 kilos or sometimes even 20 kilos more than what I would want. And I was passing by in the dressing room to take another dress because I was too hot, and I thought like, wow, you look good. And not like you wanna support yourself and make, no, you look good, but really like, hey, wait a minute, I look pretty good. Like I really meant it and I felt it, and I was like, wow, what's going on? I still want to lose weight. I have always wanted to lose weight since I was 12 years old. And I think I'm going to. Not by forcing or pulling or whatever, but by loving me. Oh, that gives me a jolt of joy. Just by loving me and my body. I think it's just because there's a reason there's excess weight, and it's not because I'm eating too much or too little or whatever. I already know it has nothing to do with working out, or because I tried all these things. Like, I'm 36 and I started when I was 12, so we have 24 years of experimenting with all kinds of things. Like maybe you have done, or maybe you're like, oh, I have done that too. Like so many women, unfortunately. So there's a whole array of reasons why there could be too much weight. But I don't care anymore, and I don't want to do things that don't feel good to get to my goal, because I tried it all. I'm not interested in that anymore. But what I'm interested in is loving me more. And to wrap this video up, because I could talk about this for so long, and I had 3 reasons written down and I only got to 1, so I guess we have 2 other videos coming up instead of 1. But this is the thing, like, that I felt I'm so much more in my body since we started homesteading, since we started living here, since I started to embrace the earth, nature, my own body. And I feel much more peace in my body. And I feel more connected to her, and it's gonna be way more in the future. I know that. But it's already started in a way I've never felt before, and I'm so grateful for that. And I hope I inspired you. That's what I love so much. I love inspiring people. And that's why I'm also gonna make these kind of videos. To just sit here and share my ideas in the hope that somebody else thinks like, wait a minute, that's so interesting. I want to hear more about that. So here we go. And I guess I'll see you in the next one. Bye.